Hikaru Tenma was like any other boy his age, ecstatic, innocent, and always full of positivity. He was part of the biggest vampire lineage in the world. His clan was one of the most well-known vampires in the world, but this also made them the top targets for organizations that specializes in the extinction of these dangerous clans, such as the Children of the Moon, the greatest enemy of the clan due to their werewolf-like nature. But more on that later. Hikaru had a loving mother and father, as well as three siblings. Haru, the youngest of the bunch, and the twins, Arthur and Amelia, who were the eldest. Hikaru's life was perfect. He was loved and adored by everyone. His eldest siblings took care of him and his younger brother Haru, while his parents won wars on behalf of the clan. The clan was unstoppable and one of the most powerful influences in the world. However, as they grew more and more, the more they struck envy and wrath into other clans, resulting in other clans teaming up with the Children of the Moon. They wanted to strike the clan down. They wanted to leave no trace. They wanted them gone. And during the final clan war, they got their wish. It was a full moon, and Hikaru was bonding with his siblings. Amelia was on the piano. Arthur played the violin. And Hikaru and Haru listened with utmost amusement. However, this joy didn't last. Suddenly, their respective butlers came in, barging through the door. Ophelia was the butler of Amelia and Arthur. Carter was Hikaru's butler, and James was Haru's butler. They all announced that they had to leave immediately, but it was too late. At that moment, someone crashed through the window. It was their mother. They all screamed, "Mum!" She screamed for them to run, but then, without warning, she turned to dust. Hikaru and Haru fell to their knees in pure despair, while the twins looked on in horror. Ophelia shouted that they should leave, and the twins did so, while Carter and James carried their respective masters. None of them could believe it. Their mum was dead. Just then they heard a gut-wrenching scream. They looked into the courtyard and saw their father, with multiple swords stabbed into his body. Arthur couldn't stand it. His eyes turned dark and he flew towards his dying father. But what he did was in vain, because mere seconds after he rushed to his father, he had multiple arrows shot straight into his body. Hikaru was horrified. Haru was crying, but Amelia, she looked serious. She ordered all the butlers to get the kids out of here while she bought them time. Hikaru screamed, "Big sis, please don't leave us. Come with us, please. I can't lose you too." But all she did was smile and drew her sword. Her final words to her younger brothers were, "I love you both. Now do this for me and your big brother. As the current heir to the family, I order you to escape and live. Now go." The butlers did what they were told and rushed for the exit of the castle. Ophelia was crushed. She lost her closest friends in the blink of an eye, but she honored her master's wish and led them to the exit. But just then they heard footsteps behind them. Ophelia told them to run to the exit while she held them off. They ran and reached the exit, but before they could get out, James was stabbed by a holy blade. Haru screamed at the sight of his butler getting killed right in front of him. But just then, Ophelia, with her last breath, rushed towards the enemy, decapitating him in the process. With the last words, she said, "Get out of here." Carter didn't hesitate. He carried Hikaru and Haru out of the castle and into the woods. Hikaru was silent and Haru was crying. They stopped when they reached the hidden bunker. But then Hikaru gave Carter an order. Hikaru said, "Carter, as your master and heir to the throne, I order you to take my brother to the safest place you can. I want you to keep him safe and make sure he's taken care of." Carter hesitated, but he knew he had to follow his orders. So he let out his wings, but before they left, Hikaru told Haru something really important. "Haru, from now on, you are now Haru Natsuko. You are no longer a Tenma. This is the only way I can assure you won't be killed. Carter will take care of you from now on, but when and if I die, I want you to take over the castle for me." Haru nodded and gave his big brother a hug. Hikaru watched as his butler and Haru flew into the night. Hikaru sighed and started crying, but then he saw a gang of lichens walking towards him. He took out his wings and got ready to fight, but the lichens just laughed at him, as he wasn't even a fully formed vampire yet. But in one fell swoop, Hikaru cut through them like lightning, chopping their heads off in the blink of an eye. The thing about Hikaru was, he and his brother Haru had a special ability they didn't even know they had. They both had the power to manifest the deceased, and since almost all of his family members were dead, he gained their abilities and made them into his familiars. His anger fueled his newfound power, and he decided to retake his castle. He dropped down into the courtyard and proceeded to retake the castle. The problem was, though, the castle was empty. All the enemies were gone, and all that's left was the blood of his servants and his family's corpses. He felt defeated, but he knew he had something to do about it. So he decided to be ready for their return. He decided to make an announcement to the whole world that he was alive and that he was coming for them. He wanted to avenge them. He wanted to avenge his mum, his dad, Arthur, Amelia. But most importantly, he wanted to keep his younger brother safe from death. Now, after a while, Hikaru made a new army and kept on growing. But one day, one of his new servants decided to talk him into a new way of coping with stress. The servant called it Vtubing. Hikaru was hesitant, but being a teen, he decided to go through with it. Through this virtual world, he met new big brothers by the names of Toki and Mao. But this time, he isn't going to let anything happen to them. This time, he'll protect them with every fiber of his being. But there was one problem. The problem with Hikaru's new life is that the children of the moon aren't happy that Hikaru is alive. They are angered that they couldn't wipe out the Tenma clan completely. With this anger, who knows? Maybe they might send an assassin to come for him. Maybe they'll kill him himself. But don't worry, everyone, 'cause I'll be ready for them. This is my clan. This is my family. This is my legacy. It's time to protect it with all my heart. Now, everyone, this is Hikaru Tenma, and this is my lore.